Hey, so I wanted to share a quick training on how this beautiful conscious communication cycle works. And I'm going to give a real world example to really bring this to light. So, you want to create, let's say, like magic in your job every day, right? And when you do that and you're acting creatively, you start really feeling good about yourself and your work, and your team and your boss totally support you. But then this resentment starts to creep in, right? Like about how happy you are. Like you can't be having fun and working hard. And you may start hearing things like, you should really be looking at those numbers more closely, or, like, wow, that spreadsheet is really inaccurate. And it triggers you. And here's the magic, right? Here's the gift. It triggers you to look in. And this is where it's conscious, and see, perhaps from a past experience and belief, that every time you try to feel good about yourself in the past, right, other people around you aren't happy. So the perception is like you can't create your own ideas and fun, and it's not okay to put yourself first before getting everything else done. And the thing is that you always find what you are looking for to prove your belief right. So if this is your past belief, now you see this evidence show up. It's like, oh, well, you're looking for that to be true, so you will, of course, believe it is true again, right? That's the old patterning. But in conscious communication cycle, even with yourself or with another person, you start to break that down and you go, well, what could be true, right? And here's what could be true. Your teammate or your boss could be going through their own triggers, right? Their own shit, their own fear. Perhaps they're worried that you won't complete your tasks because that's their past patterning of like, maybe people let them down in the past, and maybe they feel abandoned. It triggers them to bring back these feelings of being left behind because everybody else was having fun and they felt left behind, or they felt let down or abandoned, right? The bottom line is there's a reason, okay? There's a reason why that resentment energy starts to creep in and that resistance shows up, because they aren't in the conscious communication cycle, right? So they have not understood their own triggers as signs to go internal. And instead, the pattern is to go into defense and to project out what's going on inside them, right? So remember this. The subconscious mind responds with direction like a toddler, clear and soft. So you can communicate really effectively by saying in a gentle tone and start the conversation with yourself, right? You may or may not want to have a conversation with the person who triggered you, but you can have that internal dialogue with yourself about that trigger and allow yourself, right, to look down and look in and say, I am this toddler right now. So instead of the beat down, it's starting with, oh, sweetheart, I notice, like pointing at yourself, because you take full responsibility for how you feel. That other person, they didn't make you feel bad. You chose in on that. So pointing in and saying to yourself, like, I notice I feel really sad or hurt when, that comment was made about what I should be doing. The thought that came up for me was that, if I have fun for myself, or that, like I'm doing something for myself, that I'm being judged, that I might not be getting everything done for work that I need to. It feels like it's not okay to be creative and expressive in my own unique way, that I'm not important enough to feel good or to be capable, or that I'm trusted to be successful, or it feels like I'm having to ask for permission to do something that I want, that makes me feel good about my work, right? And now take notice. The next thing you get to say to yourself, this is the beautiful part, remembering without assuming, like, I'm sure it was not their intention, and I know they've supported me in creating great work. After all, they hired me, so of course they were not intending to hurt me. These are all just perceptions based on my past beliefs. So, magic, right? So I want to get clear on a couple of things. Now, if you decide you're going to have this conversation with another person who did trigger you, you can simply go, I want to get clear on what you meant by that. Is there something that was bothering you about me having, this way of doing things in my work, or having more fun or joy in my work? If I'm committing to living my passion in my work, then I'm open to see what we can create and share with our schedules to support the vision of the whole team. Can you tell me possibly what the resistance is? Can you tell me what would assist both of us in our time frames? What would be a win-win here, right? So if you are going to have that conversation with another person, reach out from that place, and that's conscious, right? And that's the cycle. So here's the thing, they may not have the conscious language skills yet. So there might be some lash out, right? You might expect that there's going to be some defense mechanisms coming back upon which, it's again, the source of their own experiences causing them to run and to panic and to be in fear. But you get to be present. You get to breathe. You get to allow that person to express, knowing it's not an attack on you, right? It's simply like their 4-year-old self in fear, perceiving that they're not good enough, or that they're going to be abandoned, or, that whatever it is, their shit, they're projecting it back on you. And this is the beautiful feedback, the perfect feedback of what they are feeling. Your response, instead of that projection right back, because it's triggering you as well, which never solves anything, is to remember that they're the toddler in fear and say, thank you for letting me know that's how you're feeling. And again, it's like, this is when you can get real and just tell them the truth, right? Because that's all they're looking for, is to see the things that they're afraid of aren't true. And they just really want to hear the truth. And even if you're having that dialogue with yourself, right? It's your 4-year-old self, like looking for, like, oh my gosh, I'm so afraid and I'm looking for this not to be true. I want to hear the truth. What's the truth? And you've got to come in and say, hey, this is what the truth is. I've been focused on being productive and taking care of myself because I know my intention is only connect to my work on a deeper level. Because when I feel good, I do better work. Right? I was hiding away and feeling pressured and in low energy because I wasn't taking care of me, and therefore I wasn't producing at my best. And I appreciate you letting me know that, you weren't feeling heard. Or I'd like, again, and get back to I'd like for us to look at the schedule. How can we communicate better? How can we brainstorm and move forward? Right? That solution. This is the full communication cycle. You go from feeling shitty all the way around, full circle, to creating, boom, a solution. And from that place, a new action in peace so that you get what you want, ultimately what you deserve. And it starts with when you take full responsibility for what you are feeling and projecting, and you get clear, right? You can literally break it down as untrue and simply ask for what you want. It's that easy. I notice I feel sad about that. This is what I'm wanting to feel. How can I create that? Right? The old cycle is the either or game. Like, I either have time for me or time for work. And you get distracted and it's all this cloudiness. And what does that mean? Settle, sacrifice. If you don't allow the clarity with a conscious response, then you can so easily slip back into the old patterns where you have to show up in that certain way and you have to just be in that push, prove, settle, tolerate, sacrifice. And how does that make you feel? Dark, heavy, right? It's not the truth which sets you free. That's why they say it. So look at how you respond when you break that truth down, right? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? What are you believing? What are you perceiving? All you need to say, either to yourself to honor that feeling or to the other person, is thank you. That's it. Not, I'm sorry, I didn't do that. That's not what happened, right? If you're saying that to another person, where is that going to go? It's not their truth, right? Or to yourself, like saying, oh, I'm incapable, I must be stupid, or I fucked up. Nope, because again, that's not actually true. It's thank you. Thank you for allowing me to understand how you feel. Thank you for allowing me to see that 4-year-old self. Thank you for allowing me to know that it came across and it felt that way, right? I can understand that. I can see how you'd feel that way. Or even to yourself, I could see how I'd feel that way based on my old patterns, based on my old beliefs, based on how you perceived it. My intention was ... What I want is ... And what I'd like to create is, my goal is, like just saying sorry or getting defensive or giving yourself an internal beatdown, it doesn't create a solution, right? To them or to your 4-year-old self, it is true. You did do that. What matters is how you feel or how they felt and how it is true for them or for, right, this old you, this patterned you. So saying what they think isn't true just makes them feel more unheard, or you're suppressing your own emotions saying, I don't want to hear you right now. And it just continues to reverberate that same cycle of I'm not good enough, or they're not good enough, right? And you feel into this deeper layer like this just perpetuates the pattern. Bottom line is we all just want to be heard and understood. So remember that, reflect that back into yourself, because you know how important it is. You want to feel that you're heard and understood, and you can create that for yourself by taking 100% responsibility and stepping into this beautiful conscious communication cycle. And they just want to be heard and understood. And when you see them as that toddler, just like you would see yourself, you can then show compassion and deeper understanding. It doesn't matter. It's true for them. That's what matters. So how do you move forward in solution? Take responsibility. Boom.